Welcome to AI in Medical Affairs Road to 2030, the series where we look at honestly at how AI is actually transforming the field, function by function and team by team. I'm John Lawrence, joining from MPhar Cambridge, and with me is Natalia, VP Head of Medical Affairs at MPhar, joining from Switzerland. So today we're talking about something that came up a lot in conversations inside pharmaceutical companies. Two teams, same company, same tools, same budget, completely different results with AI. How does that happen?
Exactly. And when I say the same company, I mean it literally. So the same technology platform, same governance framework, same access to data. And yet one team is using AI to accelerate their scientific work, while others essentially ignoring or treating it as a novelty.
So what's the difference? Is it leadership, resources, the people?
It almost never comes to the resources. What we see consistently is the difference depends on whether the team have developed, I would call it digital confidence, the ability to understand what AI can support, critically evaluate its output, and they apply responsibly with their day-to-day workflow. That's the gap, not technology, the people and the confidence they have in using it.
And that's exactly what we want to dig into today. We're going to cover three things: why identical tools produce such different results, what the idea of digital confidence really means in practice, and what teams can actually do differently starting today. Natalia, let's get into it. So let's start with the landscape. AI adoption is everywhere in pharma right now. You can't go to a conference without it coming up. But how ready are medical affairs teams really?
Honestly, John, readiness is all over the place, and I think that's actually the most important things to say first. AI adoption is accelerating across pharma industry, that's true. But when you look at medical affairs specifically, what you find is the most team recognize the potential. They are not dismissing it, but just because they don't know where to start.
What does not knowing where to start look like in practice?
I think it looks like a lot of things. Team who have access to AI tools but aren't using them consistently. Medical writers who try a tool once and we're not sure if the output was reliable. Or MSL who heard about AI-powered pre-call preparation but haven't been trained on how to do it properly. There is awareness but not confidence.
And what's blocking that confidence?
A few things. Good understanding of what AI can do and cannot do. We are speaking about quite regulated scientific environment. That matters enormously. Concern about bias and transparency, which are completely fair. Limited training opportunity, and when training does happen, it's often inconsistent across regions or the team. And then there is an integration problem. For example, digital managers, they do exist in many organizations, but they are not well connected to work with medical affairs team.
Sounds like less of an AI problem and more of a people readiness problem.
Exactly right. And that's give me the optimism. The early adopters are already demonstrating what's possible. AI-assisted literature monitoring, helping teams identify relevant publication faster. Field insight synthesis tool, turning large volume of MSL feedback into structured topic that actually help building medical strategy. The value is there. It just requires team who know how to access it.
So let's talk about the roadmap, because I think one of the things people find overwhelming is that AI feels like it's moving very fast. Where do you even begin? You've mapped this out as a journey in three phases. Walk us through it.
Sure, and on the slides, what we see is really useful frame. Teams sit somewhere on the spectrum from ignoring AI to experimenting it individually to applying it routinely in their defined workflows and integrating it in their organization. The important observation is that it does not correlate with company size. A small motivated team can move from ignoring to applying faster than a large organization where nobody has ownership.
So where do most medical affairs teams sit right now?
Honestly, somewhere between experimenting and applying. There are individuals testing tools, but it hasn't become a team capability yet. That's exactly what phase one is designed to address.
Okay, tell us about phase one.
Phase one is where we are basically right now. 25, 26 is about awareness and foundation. The first step is building a shared understanding across the team of what AI can and cannot reliably support, especially within scientific and regulated environment. Medical affairs professionals don't need to become data scientists, but they do need enough understanding to question output, recognize limitation, make informed decision.
And practically, how does a team start?
I would say pick one low risk, repetitive task and test AI alongside your existing workflow. Compare what you get. For example, take traditional manual review of Congress abstract and run the same task with AI assisted approach. Not to prove AI is better, but just to build practical judgment about when and how it adds value. That's the goal of phase one.
And phase two?
Phase 2, 27, 28 is where team move from testing to embedding. Once you develop confidence, the focus shifts to integrating AI to everyday medical affairs activity. Insight synthesis to advisory board, Congress intelligence, MSL feedback, scientific content development. The tool are being used routinely, not occasionally.
What's the skill that matters the most in phase two?
Prompting. That's the ability to communicate effectively with the AI system. High quality output heavily depends on the quality of instruction you give. A basic prompt like summarize this publication gives you a broad overview. A scientifically structured prompt asking for study population, endpoints, limitation, safety findings, and supporting evidence give you something you can actively work with. That skills is learnable, and it makes an enormous difference.
And phase three, the final stage.
Phase 3, 29, 30 is where AI becomes embedded in the strategic thinking of medical affairs, not just efficiency. Using AI-generated insights to identify evidence gap, understand evolving stakeholder priority, support lifecycle planning, and critically, the organization has documented its AI workflow, defined governance pathway, established clear ownership, and individual experimentation has become organizational capability.
That's a pretty significant shift.
It is, and it's require intentional investment in people, process, and culture, not just technology, which brings us to the next question. What actually enables this transformation?
So, what actually makes AI adoption stick across the medical affairs teams? Because we've all seen technology initiatives that had great intentions and went nowhere.
Yes, we have, and the reason they go nowhere is almost always the same. The organization invested in the technology and forgot about everything else. Successful AI adoption requires alignment across four things: people, processes, technology, and culture. And they work together. You can't fix one without addressing the others.
Let's go through them. People first.
People are the most important enabler. Full stop. The future medical affairs team will include professionals who combine scientific expertise with digital confidence. MSLs, medical directors, medical writers, all of them will increasingly need to interpret AI generated intelligence and convert into action. That's new skill set and it needs to be developed, not assumed.
And processes?
Processes are equally important and often underestimated. Teams need structured approach for AI output review, bias assessment, governance, and documentation. Without defining workflow, AI adoption becomes inconsistent. And in regulated environment that creates compliance concern, AI should accelerate scientific work. But every output requires appropriate expert validation before it enters a decision or communication.
Technology. I imagine this is where a lot of organizations start, but maybe shouldn't.
Exactly. Technology provides the foundation. AI summarization tools, scientific intelligence platform, analytics dashboard. But technology should support clearly defined needs, not drive adoption. Purchasing a platform without understanding the workflow it's intended to improve almost always result in limited utilization. We see it many times. The tool sits there, nobody uses it properly, and then people conclude AI doesn't work for us.
And culture. That one's probably the hardest to change.
Culture ultimately determines whether everything else succeeds. Teams that encourage curiosity, experimentation, responsible questioning are the ones that benefit most from AI. A digital confident culture doesn't mean accepting every AI output at face value. It means having the confidence and the permission to evaluate, to change it, to improve it. That kind of culture has come from leadership.
So, what's the message for the medical affairs leaders listening to this?
Invest in capability development before technology acquisition. AI literacy, governance framework, and cross-functional collaboration will determine long-term success, not the platform you choose.
Let's talk about measurement, because I think this is where a lot of organizations get stuck. How do you actually know if your AI transformation is working?
This is a very important question, and the answer is you need to look beyond simple tool adoption. Having access to AI platform does not indicate successful implementation. I would say you need to look for more meaningful indicators. For example, can your team critically evaluate AI outputs before they enter a workflow? Is AI supported insights synthesis improving the speed and the depth of your evidence planning? Are AI generated insights actually influencing stakeholder engagement decision? And do your professionals feel confident evaluating, challenging, and improving AI outputs?
That last one, professional confidence, that can be hard to measure.
It is, but it's observable. You see it in how teams talk about AI outputs, whether they interrogate them or just accept them. You see it in whether they push back on poor outputs or quietly discard them. And you see if it's whether they share what they learn with colleagues or keep experiments private.
You said something earlier I want to come back to. The right question isn't how many people have access to AI tools. What is the right question?
I would say the right question is what behavior would move this team one step further towards effective adoption? Because the goal isn't maximize tool access. The goal is team that use AI more effectively every month than the month before. Continuous feedback, benchmarking, shared learning, these are what transform isolated successes into scalable organizational capability.
Natalia, we're coming to the end of the episode. I want to give you the last word. What's your overall message for medical affairs teams listening to this?
The future of medical affairs will not be defined by artificial intelligence replacing scientific expertise. It will be defined by teams that understand how to combine human judgment with machine intelligence. AI can accelerate information processing, reveal hidden patterns, support more informed decision, but the interpretation of scientific meaning remains a human responsibility. The organization that succeed will be those that develop digital confidence across their teams. Professionals who are curious enough to explore AI, critical enough to challenge its output, and scientifically grounded enough to apply insights responsibly.
And the difference between AI leaders and AI observers?
It won't simply be access to technology, it will be willingness of individuals and teams to begin building new way of working. As medical affairs move towards a more data-driven and insight-led future, the organization that invests in people, in capability building, in responsible AI adoption will be the one that transforms AI from technological opportunity into the strategic advantage.
Natalia, thank you so much. This has been a genuinely important conversation, and I think it'll resonate with a lot of teams who are somewhere in the middle of the journey right now.
Thank you, John. And to everyone watching us, if you are at the beginning of this, that's completely fine. The important thing is to take that first step. Pick one task, test it, learn it, and then build from there.
That's it for today's episode of AI in Medical Affairs, Road to 2030. If this conversation was useful to you, please subscribe to the MPhar YouTube channel. We release new episodes twice a month. And if you're thinking about what AI transformation could look like in your medical affairs teams, head to m-phar.com. That's m-phar.com. We'll see you in the next episode.